I want to make one more copy of this before it's scrubbed from the internet. Dr. Fauci predicting this pandemic all the way back in 2017, from AIDS to Zika, infectious disease. The theme of the keynote address at the AAAAI 2017 meeting.
Well, that's exactly what I'm going to talk about in my keynote address today here in Atlanta at the Quadruple AI, and that is emerging and re-emerging infections, a perpetual challenge. And the message is there have always been new and re-emerging infections. There are right now. We're experiencing them right now with Zika, and we recently just had the experience with Ebola. And in the future, there always will be emerging and re-emerging infections. And the point that I'm going to make is...
By the way, listen to his voice in this video, and listen to him now. What the hell happened to his voice?
That since this is the season in Washington when there's the transition of administrations, that I was asked prior to the swearing in of the various members of the cabinet to partake in a briefing of the cabinet about what kinds of surprises or threats they may encounter in the first year of a new administration. You know, things like regular terror with bombs and bullets, another Hurricane Sandy, cyber attacks, and emerging and re-emerging infections. And the point that I'm going to describe, or the points that I'm going to describe in my keynote today, is that I became the director of NIAID, the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, 32 years ago, and actually 33 years ago in 1984. And when I came in, Reagan was president, and the emerging infection that we hit then was AIDS. And it seems interesting and somewhat almost ludicrous that it was from AIDS to Zika. So it's like A to Z versus emerging infections. And in there, with each administration, with George H.W. Bush, with Bill Clinton, with George W. Bush, with Barack Obama, and now with President Trump, that we have already seen things like, besides HIV/AIDS, we've seen West Nile virus, we've seen MERS, we've seen SARS, we've seen pandemic flu, we've seen chikungunya, we've seen Ebola, and now we're just in the middle of, towards the end of, and maybe a resurgence of Zika. So it really is emerging infections from A to Z. So the point I was trying to make is that without a doubt, we are going to see some either new or re-emerging infection in the next year or two or three or four. But if history holds true, it certainly will happen in this administration, so we need to be prepared for it.
Enough said, right?
To the topic today is the issue of pandemic preparedness, and if
It just doesn't want to play it, does it? A lot of buffering. And that's what happened.
In 2021. Shadrach Miti, KTN News.
Let's now cross borders to Tanzania, where President John Magufuli has questioned his country's coronavirus numbers. Magufuli accused officials at the National Laboratory of sabotage. Tanzania has recorded 480 cases of the virus and 16 deaths at its last update on Wednesday. The government has come under fire from the opposition for allegedly hiding information and failing to take the disease seriously. David Mbithi reports.
Tanzanian President Dr. John Pombe Magufuli's latest revelations, casting doubts on the credibility of results released by the National Medical Laboratory, has added a new twist in the country's COVID-19 combating strategy. It was early Sunday during the oath-taking ceremony of the new Minister of Constitution and Law, Mwigulu Nchemba, who replaces the late Dr. Augustine Mahiga when the president dropped the bombshell.
Tukachukua sample za oili ya gari na sample za vitu vingine mbalimbali, tukavipeleka pale kwenye maabara bila wao kujua. Tulipopeleka sample ya papai, tukaipa jina Elizabeth Anne, miaka 26, female. Papai lile lilikuwa positive kwamba lina corona. Kwa hiyo kuna watu, kutokana na extrapolation ya hizi information nilizonazo, lazima kuna watu wameambiwa positive wakati si wagonjwa wa corona, na inawezekana wengine wakafa kwa hofu.
President Magufuli wants criminal investigations carried out on staff at the National Medical Laboratory, promising a heavy penalty for any found culpable of sabotage.
Kuna nini ndani? Kama kuna kitu kama criminal kiweze kushughulikiwa kisheria. Kama kuna watu kwa njia nyingine walijinvolve kwenye criminal kwa kutumia hizi vifaa, basi sheria ichukue mkondo wake.
In his address, President Magufuli said he is now considering the possibility of allowing National League of Sports to recommence and urge Tanzanians not to worry. As of Wednesday, Tanzania had 480 confirmed cases of the novel coronavirus, the highest in East Africa, and 16 deaths. Meanwhile, Tanzania is set to join Equatorial Guinea and Guinea-Bissau in importing Madagascar's controversial COVID-19 cure, a herbal tonic produced from the Artemisia plant, the source of an ingredient used in malaria treatment. The drink was launched as COVID Organics and was being marketed after being tested.
Village of 35,000 people is receiving. A New York doctor serving a village of 35,000 people is receiving praise from the Trump administration for his success in treating 1,000 COVID-19 patients. One America's Caitlin Sinclair spoke with Dr. Volodymyr Zelenko.
Dr. Zelenko has been the tip of the spear in treating COVID-19 patients, working to keep his patients out of the hospital and alive. He has now been contacted by incoming White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, former Mayor Rudy Giuliani, and most recently Stephen Hahn, the head of the FDA, all seeking information regarding his treatment plan. Dr. Zelenko stresses physicians need to adopt his regimen more frequently before their patients' cases become so severe, calling this pandemic World War III, the virus versus humanity. Calls from health officials from countries including Israel, Ukraine, and Russia, along with requests from some world leaders, including Brazil's president, is just a snapshot of the attention Dr. Zelenko's success stories have received. He defends that with all of the reports coming in from doctors around the world regarding the success of such treatments with hydroxychloroquine and azithromycin, this is no longer anecdotal information.
I made a video directly addressed to the President of the United States, put it on YouTube, and the next day his Chief of Staff called me, which was amazing, and that's how it all started. And they were interested in what I was doing, and we kept in touch, and I kept on giving them updates.
Arguing it is not a coincidence that President Trump himself has been pushing for the use of a drug where we have seen success, insisting there are forces at play that would prefer the economy collapse than our president succeed, calling this.
And as the debate over mask wearing continues, medical experts are pointing out face coverings are not totally effective at stopping the virus. Here's Jen Pellegrino from Washington.
Since COVID-19 first made its way into the United States from China, guidance on mask wearing evolved from being inconsistent to downright political.
I think people see a mask and they see an illusion of protection, that if they put the mask on, it'll somehow block viruses from getting into their mouth or nose when they breathe. That's just not the case. Anyone who does not have a respiratory illness, meaning a cough or sneezing, should not be wearing any type of mask, whether it's a surgical mask or a respirator.
I think we know now there's scientific evidence that masks both keep you from infecting others, but may also partially protect you from getting infected.
Some Americans have even taken it upon themselves to shame fellow citizens who opt not to don a face covering in public.
So you can see, here, just around. Nobody's wearing them. Nobody's, cameraman. There you go, including the camera.
Hey, Cheese, you're in Costco not wearing your mask, refusing to wear your mask.
Yes. call the police.
And here's her mother.
Have to wear a mask. No.
Yes, okay.
Show me in the New York State Penal Law where it says that.
The governor signed an executive order. That's a law.
Show me a copy of that.
I will be more than happy to pull one up. I'll also be more than happy to pull up quotes of the governor saying police officers have
I'll
to
be
wear
here
masks.
all day.
I sat down with former New York Congresswoman Dr. Nan Hayworth to gather a better understanding of the actual science behind the mask hysteria. Bottom line,